Hello, hello, hello. Oh, wow. Great awakening, everyone. How's everyone? It is like pouring down rain. I'm in my car. As usual. As usual. Oh, wow. I got an opportunity to see Black is King. And it was real interesting to watch. Although I seen a lot of like Orishas and different things of that nature in this visual that Beyonce provided. And there were a lot of it that I knew it was something and I knew it was significant, but I didn't quite understand it. However, it resonated with my being. I had a person that did a reading and said that in a past life of my own, that I was a part of an occult, and in this lifetime, I wanted to shun myself away from it in all aspects of I wanted to just come out of it completely because I was persecuted wrongfully so. This is the reading. I was persecuted wrongfully so because what I was doing was helping, but because the way that it was labeled at that time, I was persecuted. And for some reason, a lot of that resonated with me, because even now, I just have this knowing, like, and it seemed like I have this knowing, but I purposely did something to myself to have an inability to articulate it. But I can definitely tell when something is like esoterically truthful, right? Without even knowing why, and I won't, and within myself, I know that knowing is not wrong, right? So, I look at this dimension and this 3D form and everything that's like in it. And I'm only going to speak for myself because everybody has a different mental sense of understanding, thought process that they create and make into their reality. So I'm not going to say that this is synonymous for everybody, but I will say that this is synonymous for me. And what I've come to know this day, this moment, with COVID-19, with all of the things that are going on, the 5G, all of these things that are going on right now that we're currently dealing with, the mask wearing, the plethora of information, what to believe, what not to believe, right? I think that everybody on this planet is having a human experience relative to truth, because it's always saying that the truth shall set you free, right? And everybody has their own path and avenue in accordance within themselves to gain that truth, to get to that truth, to understand that truth esoterically, and it's about truth. And that's my opinion, because when I sit back and I look, like, these few days, it's really interesting to see these few days that, both my husband and I have been sick, right? These few days has been quite the conversation pieces that we've needed. And this experience, I realized that this experience has really drawn us closer esoterically. I never knew that he knew so much without knowing why or how, or without understanding how he knew it. He just had these feelings. So when we had these conversations, when we started having these conversations, because we were so, I was with him, every day trying to make sure that, he's getting what he needs through this whole process or what have you. And we would have these conversations. And we just come to realize so many different things, just, and the transfer of that knowledge, the transfer of that information or that energy was a beautiful thing. There were moments of sheer freedom in each interaction and transmutation of many different things and understandings in those moments. And I realized that, it wasn't about husband and wife. It was about soul communicating with another soul, as how we communicate with each other here on this forum. We have different things that make us who we are, different belief that makes us who we are. But the creation of who we are is relative to the truth of who we are. And this dimension, in this dimension, it is about truth. I have learned in the process of all of this, as I come to this day, as I watch Black is King, because when I watch that, not to say that that's the greatest thing since sliced bread, but it is a beautiful expression of who we are, what we are, everything that they've told us to fear, right? For me personally, I gain a piece in it. Now, I don't know if it has anything to do with what they're saying in terms of my past life being in an occult situation, because there's a resonance of knowledge that comes in association with that, and I just simply understand it, not enough to express it or articulate it, but to know that it's true. And there's a piece that comes along with that. It's just a piece, and it doesn't have any kind of ill will or negative feeling, associated with it. And that's the beauty about it. But in terms of this life itself, right, I just truly believe that this experience for all of us is about truth. And the truth is going to set a lot of people free, and the truth is going to make a lot of people angry, right? Because they have lived in a sense of knowledge that is not true. And had they known the truth, things could have been quite different for them in terms of their evolution, right? I just feel like, stop for a moment. I'm not even as critical of things that I've seen. I just shun away things from things that does not keep my vibration high. I just let it go. I just don't give it life, right? And what I want to give life, I give it all of me. I nurture it. I give it all of me, my energy, the love energy that I have within me. I give it to it because I want that aspect, that expression of me, because it's in my presence. I want that to flourish. That is what I want to transcend among others, right? So I've noticed, even with this illness that I had, I'm just so peaceful that I'm not into the negative thing. And if the negative thing actually comes my way, I try to transcend it, transmute it into a higher energy, a higher frequency. To give you an example, my husband was sick, right? And in his mind, I was telling him, I said, listen, you could transmute this thing, I said, you could either tell yourself that you're sick, Or you could tell yourself that you will. You have the power. You have the power here. Wherever the mind go, the body will follow. And you know what made the connection for me to him is that I used his mother. I used someone that he adores. He absolutely loves and adores. I said, look at your mom. I said, last year, a year and a half now, they were pronouncing her dead. They pronounced her dead. They had already said that she was dead. And they revived her, right? Because she didn't have a do not resuscitate order. So they revived her. The whole entire family was counting her out because she had cancer. As a result of them putting on her own chemo, she went into kidney failure. So where now today she's on dialysis, right? But before she had that crash, because we had went to the hospital, it was like 5 o'clock in the morning. We had got an emergency call to go to the hospital or whatever, and we went there. And before she had that crash, because I went there and that morning and I went to work. And right before she had that crash, she had said to me, she said, I'm going to fight. I am going to fight. Mental. No matter what her body was doing, saying, or whatever the case may be, her mind had already been made up that she wasn't going to allow her body to defeat her because she had the power. She had the power here, right? So she crashed and she did all of those things. She crashed and they claimed her dead. I got the call at work the very same day, and I left work to go run by my husband's side because that's his mom and everything. And then they brought her back because she didn't have a do not recitation order. They brought her back, so therefore she was under all of this this stuff. So to look at her, you would think that there's no life there. So here I come. Here my presence come. I'm speaking life because I remember the last conversation we had before she crashed. And so I'm trying to convince the family, right, as a non-biological relative, because I'm just a what they call a sister-in-law. I'm trying to give them hope in a sense because I knew that her mind, now mind you, I wasn't as deep. Hey, sis! My eyes closed, girl, as usual. Doing my little story. How are you? Oh, yeah, how are you? I hope all is well. All is well. We are well. So she was in this whole situation. So my presence come there. I was asked to be there by 2 of the sisters, right? And I was saying that she can live. She's going to be okay. She can live. She's strong. She's very strong. I kept saying that. And I realized that my energy, my presence was there to offset the negative frequencies that were already proclaiming her body to be dead. So she needed a frequency there to reinforce the strength of her mind. But she was strong in her own right. But they were calling death and I was calling life. Thank you. Oh gosh, thank you. It's been a journey. Thank you though. Oh, thank you so much. You are such a blessing. Thank you. So I think my presence was there. And I remember at the end, I think my presence was there to keep the frequency raised so that she could maintain. But she didn't really need me to be there, to be quite honest. And then there was something that came to me because they were still, amongst them, it was a level of confusion. Then it came to me, for me, that my time, it was okay for me to leave. I needed to leave, and I left. This woman with cancer, renal failure, she's going through dialysis. She's 85, 86 years old. Is still alive, and she's not being treated for the cancer. She does do the dialysis, but she's not being treated for anything right now, and her body is in the condition that it's in. And she just recently broke her hip, and her hip breakage, they didn't want to operate, they didn't want to do nothing, and it all of a sudden miraculously recovered, right? Because she had the will to live, and the body has to follow the mind. Wherever the mind goes, the body will follow, right? So I use that example of his mother, because everybody know the condition of his mother, Maya, right? Everybody know the condition of his mom. And I used that to him, to show him. I said, you see, whatever, if you're not feeling well, but if you keep telling yourself you're not feeling well, you will not get better. You will continue to not feel well because that's what you believe. But if you believe that you are well, even though the body is telling you, I ain't well, because to this day they don't understand how I went looking like death to the way that I look now. And that's because even though I may have looked a certain way to them, I didn't feel that way in that process. I felt the most comforting and peaceful peace that one could ever experience in that time, even with having a severe shortness of breath and everything like that, right? I was at peace the entire time because I didn't move in fear of what was going on at the time. I even said, once this shortness of breath is gone, because I commanded it not to be there. I said, the shortness of breath has no place in my body. I said it. That's the exact way I said it. I said, this shortness of breath don't have no place in my body. I just said it just like that. Then the next thing I know, I started to get visited. Yes, I think she may have had the experience in another dimension that here, because I honestly believe that happened to me, sis, because every single night I went to sleep. I looked forward to going to sleep. Because I knew that I was going to wake up and I knew that I was going to feel better, because every dream that I had was a peaceful dream, and it was people that were deceased that I knew that were very peaceful and calm and loving in nature when they were here in the physical realm, right? That were coming to me in my dreams. And every time I knew because the dream started to become lucid, because I say, watch when I wake up, I'm going to feel better. And I just knew it. I just knew I was going to feel better. And then I got up and I said, yep, I feel better today. Like I knew it from these dreams. And I could not wait to go to sleep, because I knew that when I go to sleep, I was going to visit somewhere and something was going to happen. And then I was going to come back to this reality and in this physical form, and I was going to feel better. And it just happened just like that. I've been saying this to everybody. I've been telling everybody this, because that's a truth for me. And these dreams became lucid. And I'm going to agree with you on that. Because of the connection factor here. Wherever the mind goes, the body will follow. The mind is everything, right? And I use that example to him to make that love connection, because I had to use something that, he really truly loved, so that he could value and understand and see the value of what was really going on. And he saw that, and now he's feeling better. Now he's telling people he feel better, and they telling him to go to urgent care and everything. And my husband said, no, I feel fine. He couldn't walk. He had shortness of breath and couldn't even walk to the car. And today we went to the courthouse to get some records, and he walked that entire courthouse back and forth at everything, because he now believes that he's well. And when I got through my ordeal, I said all is healed. My entire body is healed. So if I had anything, cancer, shortness of breath, COVID-19, radiation, whatever the hell it was that I had, no longer exists, because I said all is well. I am healed. All is well. And that's what I believe. So when people see me now, they just cannot believe that I went through what I went through. He's got to come one closer. The UPS person. I don't know if he looking at the wrong one. But yes, so I just want people to know that I think that this life, this existence, it's a plethora of things in terms of journeys that we go through, experiences, right? But I honestly believe that we're here. This expression is about truth. especially, hold on just a second. Are you looking for 11-5-30? Oh, okay. Okay. You know, I truly believe it's about truth, because ultimately every experience that we have, however we deem it, it's about the truth of who we are, right? It's relative to the truth of what we understand truth to be at that time, in motivation to the truth of what the truth really is, right? And how we're to get there. That's why it's no judgment on how people articulate it, because that's just their way. That's just how their interpretation of it. But the esoteric value of who we are in terms of our internal self, our soul, we'll pick up on what it is that they're trying to articulate and the value of it in terms of truth. Once you start making that connection with the esoteric side of you, the truth of who you are, your inner self within yourself. And when you get to that connection, when you get there, it's amazing. The afterlife is more tangible than this one. I've heard so many real stories. I've even traveled out of body, and Z was not at church. No, ma'am. I was having fun. And Zai was out there. I was having fun and woke up levitating out of my body, and it was easy, no pain, like I hear. Exactly, because there's a part of you that has had that experience. I remember when I was shortened up, had the shortness of breath, and I told my body, I said, you've been through this before. You know how to breathe. I don't know what made me say that, right? I just did. I said, you've been through this before. Just remember. That's what I said. Just remember. That's what I said. So I truly believe that everybody projects themselves in a way of how they understand to do things, right? What they gravitate to in that respect, right? I truly believe because there's no one way. There's no one way. You understand? Because there's just no one way. This thing here is bigger than what we can even imagine. And the true essence of who we are with the frequencies that we have within ourselves, that is the truth of what, when you know thyself, no matter how many experiences you have or the expressions that we express in this journey, but when you know thyself and you learn the real truth of who you are from a esoteric perspective, sense of understanding, that in itself will change the game. Because now that spark frequency, that spark frequency that is within you is going to gravitate the truth, the real true knowledge of what it is that you need to attain while in this dimension, in this expression. Because I truly believe that we are multiple pole expressions. There are many of us, and that's why we look at each other, and when people cross our paths, that's why they are a reflection of us, of what we need to learn about ourselves, or what we need to be happy about in regards of who we are about ourselves. And although I didn't really understand everything that was in that musical visual that Beyonce put out, Black is King, I can't really articulate it. You didn't miss much. You didn't miss much, child. I was just talking about the truth and how this expression, like, we're here. And I think that, our truth itself within ourselves, right? It is what we're really truly here to attain. The expressions, we may go through many expressions to get to that truth, because we are all beautiful expressions of God. But when you really truly know the truth and you tap into that God frequency that created us, right? That frequency that they try and dear life to try to figure out. They would never be able to. First of all, they would never be able to figure out that frequency, because this frequency that we have, the God spark frequency that we have, was not created in this dimension. So no matter what they do, they can put up the pyramids. They can make the pyramids in alignment with the astrological thing to try to reach the cosmos, to help, or whatever the case may be, or try to get the energy. No matter how high the intelligence is, no matter the frequency that created you melanated people is, I call it frequency X, right? And that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to replicate that frequency. We have that we are naturally high frequency beings, because we have the unknown frequency that makes us higher than any. That's why I was telling my husband, I told him, I said, remember, I said 5 years after quote unquote slavery was dismissed, black people became millionaires in that day and time. In 5 years, they became millionaires. They had Black Wall Street, right? Instantly, because of the frequency that we have. And when they saw that, they had to destroy it. They didn't have the slavery, but they made laws, 13th Amendments and all of that to create. And that was what the movie Life was about, with Eddie Murphy and what's my boy name, Martin Lawrence. God spark. Yes, I did say God spark. Yes. Yep. What you know about God spark? So we are walking around with this frequency, this unknown frequency that is to our advantage, right? That have always been to our advantage, that we don't really understand. We are there now. Absolutely. But one of the things that's happening right now with this movie, she's getting a lot of controversy. And they want to try to say that it's coming out of Africa. This is what they want to try to tell the American people, because they want to appease the people. They want to appease a certain collection or a selection of people that believe in the white Jesus and all this other kind of stuff. They want to appease that, and trying to say, oh yeah, Africa has a problem with it, or what have you, right? So, but that's not true. I have a song I sing titled, oh yes, we are it, girl. We're that frequency X. That frequency that they're trying to figure out in our DNA. This is why they're releasing the viruses and different things of that nature, so that it can attach itself. And we could donate plasma or blood or whatever the case may be, because they want your blood dead or alive. If they ever find out, they want your blood dead or alive. Because they're trying to find that God spark. And the thing of it is that they know dimensionally, they know that that spark could have been created in dimensions that are unknown to this dimension. Like, you can't get there. You know what I'm saying? Like, there are people that are there's spirits that are here that they know. That's why they built the pyramids. That's why they were trying to create the technological frequencies to reach outside of this atmospheric hell, to communicate, right? That's why they were trying to do that. But and it didn't work. The gift is us. We are the gift to them. Oh yes, she loves her African roots. And you know who's a big part of that, believe it or not? The person that's a big part is her husband. I remember she did an interview many moons ago, and I think it was like right before she got married to him. And before the interview, they asked her about him, how does she, and she just, before they could even finish their sentence, she's like, he's a genius. He's a genius. Like, she's mesmerized by his level of intelligence, but more so the frequency and the energy. And she was open to that's why they call her a witch. There's a lot about Beyonce that one could really say, But let me tell you something. When you look at it from an esoteric perspective, even with Michael Jackson, right? Michael Jackson turned himself white because he knew that he had the DNA. And he wanted to appeal in a message. He still wanted to give out the message to the people to make people realize that we're here to help. We are here to help. We're not here to, because it's like I say, you could come out and say, "Oh, I'm sick," but for those people like us, we know that we're not here to flex a superiority muscle. For me, it's the fact of knowing that I am who I am. I am that I am, and I know now where it is, my place here. We came to help, right? We came to help. We are the gift, right? We are the connection to God. What is it? John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son. The sun energy, the energy, right? Which we're the children of the sun, the melanated people. And that's where that passage comes into, when you break it down from the allegorical sin and you decode it from the allegorical sense of understanding, you understand that we are the gift. We are the gift to the people that are stuck in this dimension. But they're doing everything. They're trying to find other planets to go to, Mars and all this other kind of stuff, because they do not want to mix. They would rather make us sick to try to see if they can get the DNA to do it without having to mix. And another thing too, this is why I don't believe personally that they've actually made it to the moon, but yes, I've seen that before. I've heard that before. That it's a dimension, and they descended from Eden into this dimension. Yes, I've heard that before. Yes, Beyonce said that Jay-Z was a genius. She said Jay-Z, and to some extent, I do believe that he is, in an esoteric sense. I think from an alchemic perspective, he has tapped in alchemy in the greatest of ways. You know, I think that he has tapped in him and Kanye. Kanye is. I think Kanye is a little bit more touched esoterically to the point of. There's very different variations of levels of eating. Yes, I would love to see the video. Send it to me, because that could be a part of my awakening repertoire to gain more knowledge, because I seen something, and I seen that dimensionally it meant something else. It's decoded in a different type of way. But one thing I do know, everything is genetics. Everything, the gods or whatever you want to call them, everything is about genetics. Everything. So when they tell you certain things, this is why they're focused on the genetical aspect of many different things, because everything, if they can alter your DNA, that everything is genetics. Everything is genetics. Everything in this, everything is genetic. Even with the gods in this dimension, everything is genetic. Yeah, well, you know what, Kanye, but to be honest with you, I'm very proud of Kanye. Because I even understand or overstand what we perceive as mental illness. Esoterically, it's not mental illness. Even with people that have schizophrenia that's able to go in and out of dimensions, it's because there are so many, and trust me, the powers that be, or the entities that be, that knows esoteric knowledge, universal law, and all this other kind of stuff, they know what schizophrenia really is. They know what bipolarism really is and all this stuff. They know what this shit is, but they tell us that it's something else. Oh yes, that's why I feel like this expression here on earth, for all of us that are here, although we have many expressions that we go through, experiences that we go through to express, but I feel like the real expression of what it is that we're here for is the truth aspect. The truth is the expression of truth. Can we find our way back to truth? Right? Right. What we call mental illness is dimensional, right? And they know it because they call it dementia. When people losing their mind out of this reality, they call it dementia. They know, but they try to attach a negative label to it because this is the world of low vibration, because they got to keep you on a low vibrational sense of understanding so that they can control you, so that they can manipulate you. Once you get into the freedom aspect of who you are esoterically, frequency wise, right, then they can't control you. That is one of the reasons why, I believe, in my opinion, Malcolm X was assassinated, because it wasn't about the fact that he had the knowledge, right? He had the knowledge and the esoteric knowledge to the point where he went over there to Egypt. It was because he had the influence. He had a powerful influence. Yes, we got a lot of junk DNA. Now, the junk DNA aspect, if you want to know anything about junk DNA, if you don't already know, I'm sure you're very, very well versed. But, if this is something this is where Billy Carson, he talks about the junk DNA and stuff like that on his platform. They watered us down. Yep, they broke us down. They watered us down from a cellular level, and everything is genetic. Everything is DNA. Everything is genetics. Everything, even from an esoteric spiritual perception, even in transition from this physical death, going back out there and coming back in. You come back into being your grandchild or your son's great grandchild, or whatever the case may be, because of the lineage, the ancestry. Everything, even in the spiritual world, everything is DNA genetics. Everything. No, tell me. What was I saying? Yes, the junk DNA. He was talking about that. It's in that book, The Pendulum of the Emerald Tablets and stuff like that. He talks about the junk DNA, how they watered us down, because we did have superior DNA, right? But somehow or another, they got remanufactured, and so now we got all of this junk DNA. And then over time, over the course of the time, this is where the epigenetics comes into part of the memory. This is why you have a lot of homosexualities and different things of that nature. So when they say that it's a natural thing, it's a natural way of feeling, that's because the memory of the DNA is what's initiating the expression, right? So he could very well be once upon a time in a lineage, esoterical, spiritual sense of understanding. Yes, that could very well be. Absolutely. This is why they're telling phenomelanin people that if you want the gift, you have to mix with a eumelanated person. Then when you mix with a new melanated person and you create an offspring, and that offspring goes and mix with another eumelanated person, right? You now have lineage to come back as a eumelanated being, as one of their grandchildren, their great-grandchildren, and then you can inherit the gift, DNA, the eumelanin, to be able to leave. But they don't want to do that, because this is temporary. We're only here for a short period of time. That's why, to have fear of death is like ludicrous, because that is the truth. That is the closest, that when you get close to death, that's the closest thing to the truth. When you dead, that is the truth, because now you're back to the truth, right? You're back to the truth. Okay. So I don't know why people, I get it, because I used to fear death, because I used to say, Lord, how am I going to be in that casket and breathe? I used to say some stupid crap. I used to be scared, but now, I ain't scared no more. So that is the thing in regards to death, right? Death is truth. Death is truth, because when you transcend, you come back to the real aspect of who you are, energetically, vibrationally, in frequency, right? And you get to retain what expression you have had here in this physical expression, so all is not lost, right? But yeah, so everything's, always remember, like, lineage is very important, right? This is the way that we've been giving them the gift, that they have to mate with us, create an offspring. Oh, thank you, baby. Create an offspring. So when they transition, they have an opportunity from a lineage perspective to come back as a grandchild or a great grand, or in the family, or whatever, in their lineage, right? So when you see Beyonce and Michael Jackson, they are appealing to the white, the phenomelanin people, right? And there's another thing that I want to get to too. They're appealing because they know that their skin tone is the attraction. But God damn it, the knowledge that they drop in, because they're already secure within with the melanin within themselves. This is about truth. This is about truth. They're already clear, so they know that they got the skin tone, right? Because they already know that they have the melanin in their DNA. Whatever it is, whether they came back, some people try to make it. How can I say? Some people try to make it like, when they realize, like with Thomas Jefferson, I think he had some esoteric knowledge, and that's why he had all them doggone kids with that lady's Susan, whatever, I can't think of her name. That's why he had all those kids, so that he'll have options to come back through the lineage to get the gift. Because we're here to help. We're not here to hurt. We're here to help. Okay, and Michael Jackson and even Beyonce know that they have the skin tone to be the attraction, because they're secure with the melanin that's within their DNA. She may have been white at some time, and she want to make amends of all of the things that maybe she have done in her lineage, right? She want to correct wrongs, right? She has the fair skin to attract, many different people, and now she has the lineage now because of her father. However, she created her lineage to come back, because at one time they were trying to say her lineage was also connected to the Bushes through DNA, ancestral DNA, and different things of that nature. So she may have come back, and now she's probably trying to correct a lot of wrongs. She's in connection with the right energies, the right what they call it, the right ancestries, right? Energetic ancestries that she came here to have the mission to do. This is why she's so big and this and that and what have you, right? Because she's here to entertain, but she's also here to teach, right? And now she's at a status where money is of no object, and she has the influence. And now people is about to get mad and people about to get glad, because she's finna tell the truth. You could call her a witch, you could call her bitch, you could call her whatever, but she has the skin tone, the melanin in her DNA, the platform, the wealth to be able to speak truth. Because what can they do? Make her poor? No. The only thing they can do is basically silence her, maybe by death or something like that. But even in that, she's still free. Because she's who she is, and she knows who she is. And if she transitions, she's still free. So she's utilizing the platform now to speak truth. Y'all could call it whatever she wants. And then people like such as myself and you, we know what time it is, right? We understand what time it is. But then you're going to have the people out there that are going to try to, downplay it. But then there's going to be something that resonate with people within their being to know that this is true. This is true. It was something that was said, that Ashira was saying, that there really is just one race, and that's us, right? Because everything comes from the melanated being. right? A eumelanated being can have a what they call it, any what they call it, the mitochondria, what they call that? I can't think of the name of it, but they call it the Eve gene. Look up the Eve gene, right? We could have every color of the rainbow. We can have every color child of the rainbow. We can. But if two phenomelanin people get together, they're just going to produce another phenomelanin offspring. If they're completely, but our DNA can produce every color of the rainbow. Mitochondrial Eve gene, yes. Yep. So that's the beauty. So there is just one race, because even the children, what the Bible references the children is the phenomelanated people. They are the children. They actually come from the eumelanated being, in a sense, right? They took our DNA and did what they did to create the phenomelanin, right? The reflection, right? We are the absorber of energy. They reflect energy. That was the only, that everything is DNA. Everything is DNA. Everything is DNA. Even in the gods, everything is DNA. Everything is DNA. Everything is DNA. I don't know why I feel the need to emphasize that so much, but that's what it is. Everything is DNA. So I just know that this experience and this expression is an expression of truth for me. I can speak for myself, but I'm almost confident in saying that it's an expression of truth for everybody, for everyone. We're just doing it in many different ways, different forms, and different things of that nature. We're doing it in many different ways, but everything is an expression for truth, right? And, like I said, I just feel like if we just take the time to look at each experience that we are having, each interaction of what we're having, and then we stop for a moment and say, what can I learn from this interaction, right? What is this conversation with this person? What is it? What is the reflection in this of me that I can learn something about myself to evolve myself? Because even with me speaking like that, it brings a sense of peace, because now I'm looking at this individual to show me something about myself to learn from, so that I can grow, more so than looking at this person as something negative. Because you can always, in alchemy, transmute a negative situation into a positive situation, right? So I just wanted people to, I just wanted to share my experience with you guys. With me being, down and sick at the time that I was down and sick, and just that experience was such a, I was sick. I was so sick, but it's weird to say sick and it being a beautiful experience. It's like an oxymoron type thing, but that was such a beautiful experience for me. Being in that capacitation, having those energies just make me well, because even my mother and everybody was so afraid. They were so scared, because I had the worst case of, I'm sure my pulse ox had to be into the 70s or something. And they say there's no coming back from that because the way I couldn't breathe. If I wasn't at 70, I was damn near close to it. But then now me speaking to my husband and seeing a night and day difference, because he decided, and I made that connection to his mother, somebody that he loved, that love connection, that love frequency. And then now he's turning around. He's turning around, like he's starting to become much stronger and well and everything. So I'm just grateful for this moment, and I love these conversations. I love sharing my experiences with you guys. I want people to see my growth. because I just feel like, you know, everything is a beautiful thing. It's an expression. You know, we're all going to do things differently because we're in different cultivations. But in the cultivations that we are in, it's still up to us to remember to find that truth. To find the truth. I think that that's what this journey in this dimension is about. It's about truth. It's about truth. And now it's coming out. The truth shall set you free. And a lot of us are about to be some free birds up in here. It's going to be some free birds up in here. So with that being said, you guys, peace and love. I send the most caring, compassionate, and abundance of love to you guys. Love energy. That is the highest frequency known to man. Known to man. There are plenty more higher frequencies that we probably tap into that we really don't, you know. But I send that unto you, and I send the unknown frequencies that we may not know about that are higher frequencies, so that we can capture the essence of those energies and those frequencies to basically just have our heaven on earth and our heaven in transition, because we get to carry those frequencies and energies with us, you know. That is why it's so important to be in high frequency as often as you can. It feels good for one. And then, you know, when you transition, you get to carry all of that with you. You get to carry it with you. It's a beautiful, I think it's a beautiful thing. And I'm just happy. I'm in awe. I'm happy. And I just feel like I could change anything. I could change any negative into a positive here in my mind. Right? You can't really do anything for the next person. Hey, Eddie. You know, it's up to the next person to decide what they want to do. But you yourself, you always are in control of you. How are you, Eddie? How are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. I know I haven't did a video like this in a while. I said, let me share this feeling that I'm having right now, because it was such a beautiful feeling. And it's raining. It's raining. And I just feel the energy from the rain. And it's just a beautiful thing. It's just a beautiful thing. But I'm going to end here because I need to go in the house and make sure my husband is all right. But I just want you guys to just think about what I've said. I've said a lot. But just, you know, pick, choose, and refuse. You know, just go through your day and make your day a brighter day, because you have the power. With all this mental, wherever the mind wherever the mind goes, the body will follow. Yes, we didn't really get the storm. We're still having the residue from it. That's why it's still raining and everything. So we were spared. So yes, prepare and everything. Get yourself, you know. I didn't get too hype about it, you know, because it was, you know, it was a category 1. You know, I wasn't hype about it, but still, whatever it is that a person needs to do to ease their mind and to quell themselves, then that's what you do. And to each their own with that. Just be safe. Make sure you can, just whatever you need to do to stay safe, just continue to stay safe. That's the most important thing, is to stay safe, stay healthy, and all of those things. So, but I'm going to end here, you guys, because I got to get in the house. But thank you guys for tuning in. I love you guys immensely. I love you. I send an abundance of love to you guys, unto you guys. I send high frequency to you guys in peace, love, and in gratitude. I think I'm very grateful and thankful for all things. And I just want to send that out to you guys in the most affectuous, deepest of love. All right? So peace and love. And I shall commence to talk. Oh, you at work? I go back to work tomorrow. Bright and early. I go back to work tomorrow. Yeah, so I'm finally cleared to go back to work. All right, so I'll be talking with you guys later. I love you guys. You guys have an amazing evening. Love you. Bye.